Hi guys, it's time for another episode of playing through an expedition with a class while I talk. And the level I've chosen this time now is the Gauntlet with my Stalker. Yay! Let's go get a better gadget or a weapon or something like that. And I don't even care what it is. Even a support weapon, a tank weapon would be good. Tank weapon would be alright, then I could maybe do some tanking with my Stalker a bit more, focus getting some tank gear for my Stalker, because I would love to do some tanking with my Stalker or my NG, but probably not my Warrior. My Warrior I would like to get more into a DPS role, if possible, or if nothing else, if I'm going to go raiding with him, if I have to be the Power Link guy, I'll be the Power Link dude. You know, so I can be good for Power Link, or I can be good for DPS as a Warrior, but I would prefer to either do tanking with Stalker or NG. But I'm going to DPS this time. And that is not what I want to use for here. I want to use Maelstrom there and Neutralize. And I'm going to have to put some points into Neutralize, because I'm going to be doing some AoE damage in that cage room that comes after this room. Don't want to have Impale for that wave room. You want to have Neutralize for sure, because you're going to be fighting at least 5 targets. And if you're in a group, you're going to be fighting 10. So Impale is only going to hit 2 targets, and they'll kill you probably before you kill them. So I would recommend going with Neutralize for that room. And Maelstrom, I like using Maelstrom as a filler instead of Ruin, because it doesn't cost suit power at all. And Ruin, if you try to use Ruin against a single target, you're only going to get 5 suit power back for hitting it. Suit power cost is still going to be 35, and its damage, if you don't spec it up with points, is garbage. So it's 35 suit power, and its damage is garbage if you're only hitting a single target. But with Maelstrom, whether you're hitting a single target or you're hitting multiple targets, it displaces the damage evenly amongst whatever targets you actually have and are hitting. So if it's just one target's going to take the full damage. If you have 5 targets, it'll displace the damage amongst 5 targets. But it also moves you around in sort of a whirlwind shape, and you get a 100% glance bonus after you use it, so it increases your defense after you use it. So I'm going to stealth here, pop my thing here. I'm going to use Analyze Weakness, tag him with it, and start spamming Neutralize, and down they go. And then there's that. That is the Maelstrom. Has a short cooldown. When you get low on suit power, that's when you want to pop your Punish. Punish is a physical damage move. Has a telegraph like such in front of you. See? You go Hachink. And it also replenishes your suit power when you use it. So spam either Neutralize or Punish as your primary attack, and then when you run out of suit power, use your Punish. So Impale, right? Impale or Neutralize is your primary attack, and then Punish is what you use when you run out of suit power to strike them and refill your suit power. If you are completely tapped out, or if you're below like 35 suit power, I believe, then you get more suit power back if you use Punish when you're like tapped out of suit power. But if you spec it up with points, then you can make it so that it automatically gives you the full suit power of 50, even if you're not below 30 suit power when you use it. And it also applies a physical damage debuff. So if you're using Impale and you're using Punish against a single target, that's ideal, because Punish is physical damage, and Impale is physical damage, and Punish is physical damage, but it also applies physical damage debuff. So they synergize very well and go well together against a single target. But against multiple targets for AoE damage, you definitely want to be going with Neutralize, and Maelstrom is also pretty good as well. And your clone, you know, you definitely want to have your clone out there, and he should be going out at the start of your rotation, ideally. And you can use Preparation like I have for healing a little bit in between if you get roughed up in this part here. If you don't have an extra heal, it replenishes your suit power, but it also gives you a little bit of extra healing. So instead of using Stim Drone, Preparation is really better for the assault, because it's It gives you a little bit of sustain, but it gives you steady suit power regeneration, and it gives you a nice little crit and crit severity buff over time for using it. So it's your preparation. You use it to prepare to start your rotation. And I got all of those tokens just in time. That took way too long. But I got 20 tokens. Now I'm going to endorse the product. And I'm going to get in this cage. And I'm going to kill whatever I got to here. Oh, that was terrible. I failed with my analyze weakness. Good news is that I can hit both of these guys with this one attack. Using Punish also resets the suit power cost of your Neutralize. So Neutralize starts at 15 suit power for the first cast, then goes to 20, then goes 25, and then 30, and stops at, I believe, 30 suit power cost total. 15 suit power. Each increases by 5, stacks 4 times, so that would increase it by 20, so 35 suit power is the most that it will cost. So after using it 4 times, that's when you get the extra damage proc from tagging a target with it. Every time you hit with Neutralize, it puts a little mark on the target, and after hitting the target 4 times with it, it increases, or it procs for like an extra hit worth of tech damage. So after 4 strikes of your Impale, that's usually a good time to use your Punish and reset its cooldown cost, and then use like your preparation, start refilling up your suit power cost, use your punishes to get more suit power when you run out. And then Crippled there is a nice filler when you have your class set, because that will cool down your assault abilities, and it also cools down the casting of your assault armor.
Double kill.
So your assault armor, you can still re-stealth in combat, but you still have to wait for that cooldown, and you can cool your assault armor down so that you can re-stealth by attacking. Your assault abilities will increase that cooldown, but also even using Cripple, which has charges and doesn't even require suit power, striking with Cripple also cools down your abilities. Hitting with a crit will proc up your Punish and cool down your Punish charges rather, and also your assault armor, so that you can re-stealth, reapply your Analyze weakness, and start your rotation again. And if somewhere in that part of your rotation you get it a little bit messed up, or you find yourself running out of suit power a lot, and even preparation is still not enough to give you extra suit power regeneration, and Punish and it's still not enough, there is a nice little ability called Follow Up here in your assault utility tree. And what that does is when you change stances with your armor and you go like this, you get suit power regeneration over the next 6 seconds. So it's 3 suit power every 1 second for 6 seconds. That's a lot of extra suit power regeneration when you use Follow Up. And it doesn't take very long to cast Follow Up, or to, say, swap from one stance to another, to stance swap. It doesn't take very long to do. There we go. So I'm not getting a super awesome rotation out right now because I'm kind of talking and doing it at the same time, but I'm going to get a good rotation out on these next guys here. Get the Analyze weakness and actually, strike them from stealth. And I missed the Analyze weakness. Clone is not knocking him down either. Good news is that I've got a lot of sustain because of Bloodthirst. Bloodthirst is from my assault utility tree down there. unlocks the ability, and this gives me a damage increase, but also increases my lifesteal. Increases lifesteal by 22%. So, gives you a damage boost and gives you enough lifesteal that, you know, even with moderate damage, you can still get like 100% crits and lots of suit power generation. And even if you screw up, see, it's a very fast rotation, but there is room for things to go wrong and you to still be able to recover. So since these are a single target now, I want to be using impales. I should have been using impale. Well, for a single target, you should be using impales. Get 2 extra points. I'm going to put 1 right there, and I'm going to put 1 right there. And you also want to be striking from behind using impales. So you wait until they actually become attackable, and then use the analyze weakness, and try to not get hit from stealth before you can strike. There we go. Go, clone. Clone did not knock him down.
This is gonna be more fun than tossing jellies. Give it to them nice and painful, boys.
There we go. Now you're knocked on your bum. And he's dead. And I'm gonna get my reward now. And I get a flashy weapon bling and a gadget. And it's better than the one I got. Sweet. Upgrade hype. And that is a gold run through the gauntlet with my Stalker and this rotation. So what I did here with my assault armor was I basically, there is in your key mapping, you go to key bindings, and it's somewhere in here to change your stance to stance 2 and 3 here. Set stance 1, 2, and 3. So I set this to numpad 8 and numpad 7, and then set them to keys on the side of my keyboard so that I can just go and switch quickly. See? So this is a fun way to irritate people, but really it's just meant to be for follow-up so that you can go from support back to assault armor and get your follow-up suit power regeneration from here. It's a nice little filler if you are having problems with your suit power generation. And then you've also got punish to refill your suit power, right? So you've got thing, and you've got preparation, which also gives you suit power regeneration. So those abilities there is how you can get extra suit power generation to spam more impales and more neutralizes and such. So I hope you guys enjoyed this playthrough, walkthrough, and I'll have more coming through you. This was my Stalker on the Gauntlet. Okay.